Quantum Conversations, your portal to the inner realms. Access infinite possibilities, infinite mastery, and infinite love. Mind-expanding, heart-opening conversations with some of the greatest spiritual teachers, luminaries, and healers of today's world. Usher in new earth by living in your sacred heart. Quantum Conversations is brought to you by AcousticHealth.com, home of music from the universe, online healing retreats, and this program. Claim your free registration to daily shows at AcousticHealth.com. AcousticHealth.com, your portal to the inner realms. Our program starts shortly. Welcome to another Quantum Conversation, brought to you by AcousticHealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. And today, as we prepare our physical vessels for more light, we intend to stand in our mastery, and we're going to talk about the expansion of consciousness, and we're going to be working with our consciousness in this episode. But first, my guest today is Scott Smith, and he is an energy worker, a master of the core of being, and he's a modern-day mystic. He is in service to the light, and he is here to interact with us in this quantum conversation. Let's welcome back Scott Smith to Quantum Conversations. Scott, hello.
Well, I guess that would be me.
Hello.
Oh, thanks so much for having me back.
It is wonderful to speak with you. The work that you do with Shakti is palpable, and we can feel it within our vessel, and we can direct it. And this is what it means to move healing energy and to work with it. So we're going to work a little bit with Shakti. I saw two beautiful doves fly by my window just now. And we're also going to talk about consciousness. So let's start with the Shakti aspect.
Absolutely. When people are beginning, they feel something or they feel nothing. And they're not sure what they're doing. They're not sure if it had an effect. They're not sure whether they did something or they didn't do something. So what I wanted to do tonight, what I was instructed to do tonight by my teachers, was give an example of something simple, what it's like to work with Shakti. Shakti is divine energy. It has intelligence. It's a frequency and a waveform. So give an example of that and actually do it with you guys so you can feel it, those who can feel. So you can see it, those who can see. You can experience it however you can experience it. And that's it. That's all we're going to do with divine energy tonight. The rest of the show is going to be devoted to working with consciousness. And the goal, if I'm able to, time permitting, is to bring everyone into Christ consciousness for however long you can hold it. A second, 10 minutes, a half hour, for the rest of the night. And that's up to you for the groundwork that you've done, the work that you've done. And Loren will leave this up forever, which is what's so wonderful about working with Loren, is that you can come and you can listen to this and you can revisit this after you've done even more clearing work on yourself. more purification work on yourself, so you can experience and expand yourself. And in the playback, you have the advantage of the pause button, where you can pause at each of these different levels of consciousness that we will experience together. The advantage of the live show is that you can ask questions, and I'm here to serve the best I can. And so is Loren, and she's amazing in her own right, and you all know that. You've been with her for many, many years.
Well, this is an experiential time on our episode today, and it really is beautiful to allow ourselves that space to really relax and hopefully shut off some of the things that we do as multitasking so that we can experience this. It is exquisite with Scott. He is highly loved by his tribe, and we are so pleased to share this with everyone on this platform. Scott, Shakti, some would say that it's more of a feminine aspect or a feminine energy.
Yes. Just like an electrical outlet, there's a male part of the plug and a female part of the plug. The outlet's female. In the same way, we describe energy as being female and male. There's no gender associated with it. It has nothing to do with feminine and masculine in terms of human. But we're so quick with that. It's just that English is so limited. It has to do with the spin of the energies and things like that, and the effects of the energies. Working with Shakti is working with feminine aspects. Although not all of it is divine feminine, there are other Shakti out there. And that's so, so wonderful. However, the effects, as the healer, as the energy worker, the light worker, whatever we call ourselves these days, the effect on doing this kind of work is the effect of the divine masculine. So I instruct my students that when you're done doing a session, to call in the specific Shakti of the divine feminine. Remember, each Shakti has a frequency or a set of frequencies. It also has a waveform, right? So you call in the Shakti of the divine feminine itself and allow it to expand from the center of the core being through your entire being. That's your body system, your crystalline structure, your energy field. That's 55 feet in diameter if you're in the United States. The rest of the world, it's 16.7 meters. However, think about it this way. It's a 5-story building in every direction. That's how big you are. That's how big every one of us is. And you allow this divine feminine to balance you back out. Unless you want to stay in that, the divine masculine results of having worked with Shakti. Does that explain it a little bit?
It does, and so it's most needed more and more at this time. So it's really beautiful to be able to experience this. So with that, I am going to allow you this space, Scott, for this first phase.
Sure. We're just going to do a quick little something. The people who've worked with me before know I work with the center of the core being. It's a distraction-free zone. So we can answer questions later. But for now, if you have your feet uncrossed, close your eyes. Have the thought to be in the center of the core being. And you will be. Some of you are already feeling the Shakti that flows through constantly. Now have the thought to activate the base chakra. The base chakra is below the feet, not on the bottom of each foot. That's something else. It's not on the body. And it's not for grounding, it's for connecting. Now have the thought to be in the I Am presence. Or you can think of it as being at the throne of God, to being with Source. Whatever wording works for you. You want to go up past the soul. But you're not going, you're not a human going, you're a human being. You just want to be there. You want to be in that space, past the monad, which is way past the soul. And there you go. And in the I Am presence, we want to take 3 relaxed, deep breaths through the nose if you can. Through the mouth, okay. Better through the nose, because then it circulates through the sinuses around the eyes better. And when you're done, just choose to be in the center of the core of being. All of this work is about choosing, allowing, and accepting. The center of the core being, as I said, is a distraction-free zone, and you might notice that the mile-a-minute thoughts you were having have gone away. You activated the base chakra. You might feel tingling in your toes or like electricity running up the skin of your legs. Very common. And you might feel nothing, and that's okay too. Good. So now let's just ask for divine peace. In fact, not just any old divine peace. Let's ask for the waveform of primordial divine peace. The divine peace that was there at the beginning of creation. And let's just breathe in that divine peace. Primordial divine peace. Not what we think peace should be, but this specific energy, this specific frequency and waveform, the Shakti of primordial divine peace. And allow it to radiate out through your entire being and experience the energy of it. We can activate, means turn it on. We can energize it. Go ahead. You need to kick it up into an excited state, just like chemistry class. We can amplify it like turning up the stereo knob, the volume. And we can lock it in on our node. In the very, very center of the core of being, there's a node. N-O-D-E is the word I'm using. That's your node on the grid of humanity, your node on the grid of the planet, and so many other grids pass through there. And that's the beginning of the Antakarana, and you can look that word up and see what that is later. And then from that node, your node, we can allow this primordial divine peace to radiate out to every node on the grid of the planet. Go ahead. and allow it to radiate out to every node on the grid of humanity. Go ahead. We're not forcing peace on anyone. We're offering it to them like the scent of a rose. They can choose to smell it or not. They can choose to accept it or not. We never usurp anyone's free will choice. That's my definition and other people's definition of evil. And when you do that, energy comes back to you in response. Allow that. Accept that. Good, good, good. That's what working with energy is like. I'd ask you how it felt, but I get a lot of people saying, peaceful. Good, and we just helped the planet. So there, while we're doing this real quick, let's call in the Shakti necessary for all those people suffering because of the fires in California. And let's just call in this Shakti. Whatever it is, we don't even know what they need. So we'll ask for the necessary Shakti to help all the people who are enduring some form of loss due to these California fires. And just breathe in this Shakti, breathe it in, activate, energize, intensify, anchor it, intensify, amplify, same thing, anchor it, lock it in, same thing. And now just allow it to radiate out, and it will choose to go, Shakti's smart, it'll choose to go out along the grid of humanity to all of those people who are so afflicted. And this is a very simple way of doing energy work. It's a very effective way of doing energy work. It's simple, it's easy, and it feels good. And that's how I get my students to do it. I take away all their excuses not to do it. Because it's quick. Good. Why don't we take a pause and let some of this dissipate before we start working with consciousness?
It really is gentle, and the flow is there. We do not need to force it. It's as simple as the breath and intention. Beautiful.
Sorry, my microphone fell.
Your Shakti just bumped your microphone.
There you go. My microphone was Shaktified. There we go.
Well, the primordial divine peace, and we radiated it out. Wonderful. I could see it going across the nodes of humanity.
And what do you think about primordial divine peace as to regular divine peace? Did you notice a difference?
Yeah, so, what's the word? I want to say pristine, untainted. Yes.
So at some point when you're working with divine love, so many people have so many connotations of what divine love is. And there's so many waveforms that humanity has created of divine love. Next time you work with it, ask for primordial divine love. I have my students ask for primordial prem. Prem means divine love. Then you're not even asking for love. So all the connotations in the brain don't come into play.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And just experience that sometime. It's absolutely beautiful.
It is beautiful. Yes. I want to share. Someone says in their comments, wow, I can feel the vibration coming from the speaker. Felt electricity all over my body, like ants crawling all over. Beautiful, could feel the energy moving in my body.
Well, there you go. That's the divine feminine. There were aunts and no uncles.
This is the humor of our friend Scott.
Yes,
Watch
one of my
out.
students said that I had. One of my students said I have dad humor.
We love it because it sneaks up on you. It does. We could be really serious and then boom. It's wonderful. That's what we love. Okay. You're going to work with people later. We're going to get to a little discussion and experience of consciousness.
Yes. Good. Yes, and we can start now. So, to set this up, I am going to do a little bit of setup out of respect. In English, we would call them archangels. In a more ancient language, we would call them the Ophanim. And so I'm going to use their original languages. And these are the names that Master Jesus himself used when he taught it to his disciples. You know, Master Jesus didn't just go around talking to people, he taught stuff. And these are those names. For instance, Metatron, wherever in the Old Testament it says Almighty God, that's Metatron. So there's a Hebrew word for that, and it was translated into English. The church called it Metatron, but back then it was called Ur-El. Ur means light. El means God. Metatron is just God's light, not to be confused with Uriel, with that little E in there, Uriel. That means my light is God. That's different than just God's light. And Sandalphon, who the church almost eradicated, at the bottom there, is Kara-El. And Kara-El is the ancient Hebrew word for Antakarana, because people knew about these things, right? We just don't know about them today. It also means to call out to God. And then in the center, the church renamed this angel to Christos, and people confuse this angel Christos with Master Jesus. Not the same. And the original name for this angel is Yeshar-El. And even in modern Hebrew, Yeshar is a straight line. Yeshar-El, a straight line to God. So when you have Ur-El at the top, the light of God, and underneath you have the Antakarana, Kara-El, and in the center you have Yeshar-El, a straight line to God. So I like using these names better. They're more descriptive and they seem to be more powerful. So I'm just going to call them quickly. We're going to start in the east. So if you know where east is, and if you don't, it's going to happen anyway. And I hope this doesn't offend anyone. And if it does, accept my apologies. So let's just be in the center of the core being. And I'm going to call forth Raphael, Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, Orel, Karael, Yesharel. Come forth now with all your choirs of angels and all your angels of healing, and help us with this process to help discover consciousness, our consciousness. Thank you so much. Amen, amen, and amen. Amen, amen, and amen. Using a little sacred geometry there. And I bet you've had Gregory and Gail on in the past to talk about that. Good. I'm going to do a little prayer out of respect to one of my teachers in the flesh, Archbishop Nathaniel. He wrote this prayer, and then he and I modified it. And since he's died, I needed to modify it again, so I did. Again, you can just close your eyes, be in the center of the core being, activate that base chakra. O Creator, all being, absolute and above all, by thy holy throne, through the holy Elohim, through the Christos, through Adonai Yeshua Christos, and through the rivers of life and tree of life and flame of life and the Merkabah and all the agents and agencies thereof, therefrom and thereto, particularly the new heaven, new earth, and new Jerusalem. Send down now the Holy Spirit, the dove of Christ, the Christ force, divine message, divine influence, the clear light, the uncreated light, the fire of all creation, and the golden force, to descend through us and fill us. And the Holy Ghost and the silver light and the life force ascend through us and fill us. And be conjoined within the core of us, with the throne of God within us, with the Holy Grail, red lion, cube of space, elixir of life, and philosopher's stone within us. And now, through Soma Christu and Soma Eloheinu, Aima Christu, Aima Eloheinu, Guia Christu, Guia Eloheinu, Domatoi Christu, Domatoi Eloheinu, Pneumaticoi Christu, Pneumaticoi Eloheinu, and Aqua Vitae, through our entirety, completely and fully realized. And through the Earth Logos, Solar Logos, Galactic Logos, Cosmic Logos, and the Lord of all the Logi. Bring forth now the eternal living flame of light, life, love, joy, truth, peace, wholeness, and prosperity through our entirety. And let the great light descend. And let the great light extend. And let the great light manifest now. Amen, amen, and amen. Amen, amen, and amen. Thank you, dear Lord. Amen. Who are you? You are an immortal being created in God's image. And no, God doesn't look like Charlton Heston. God is consciousness. You are consciousness. And as consciousness, you are now living in a human existence, in a human incarnation, in a human body system, with all its inherent limitations, with all its inherent abilities. Much like a hermit crab lives in a shell until that shell is no longer useful, you will live in your body system until it no longer serves you, and then you will move onward to a new body system, here or elsewhere. But that is who you are. You are consciousness. And when we identify as our mind, when we identify as our emotions, when we identify as our physical abilities or our body, We are identifying as this local, one-time incarnation. But if we learn to identify ourselves as our immortal nature, our true nature, then we're able to do so much more. So much more. And that's what we're going to show today, a little bit of. Consciousness has various layers to it. There's the subconscious and the unconscious, the conscious awareness, which is what most people are aware of, excuse me, but English is limited, and my use of it is as well. And then there's the superconsciousness, and they called it superconscious just because they didn't want to rock any boats at the church, because the superconscious is also known as the soul. It's also known as the higher self. It's also known as the Christed over self. All of these bits together make up your consciousness. This is who you are. So let us be in the center of the core being at our node. And let us be our consciousness. In the center of the core being, it's like being in the center of a hurricane. Not the center of a tornado, but in the center of a hurricane is like the most beautiful day you've ever experienced, until the other side of the hurricane comes along and washes your dad's car down the street. Been there, done that. But in the center, it's beautiful. And we have all that Maya, all that illusion going around and around and around. And it's so easy to get sucked up into it. But for now, let's be our consciousness. And let's allow our consciousness to expand into the electromagnetic body. This is the body that has all of the chakras, all of the marmala points, all the nadis, all the meridians. And it's right there, connected to the center of the core being. Allow your consciousness to expand into it. Allow yourself to become aware of it. Each of you has different gifts. At each level where we stop off, different ones of you will have different experiences. And that's good, and that's the way it should be. In each atom in your body, there are subatomic particles, and they go back and forth between mass and energy and mass. And E equals mc squared, we've all heard that. But mass is nothing more than E over C squared. So it's nothing more than the energy divided by the speed of light squared, this huge number. And if you have 1 pi on Thanksgiving and you need to divide it into 2 pieces, you get a lot more than if you have to divide it into 32 pieces. So when you take the energy and you divide it by this huge number, what you get is that mass is nothing more than very slow moving energy. So as these electrical bits, these little electrons, they're not even electrons, they're subatomic particles, as they go back and forth between mass and energy, when they're in the energetic state, they're in your electromagnetic body. Allow them to absorb you, your consciousness, all of your consciousness, and carry your consciousness into every atom of your physical body. And just allow it to do it. Choose it, allow it, accept it. Takes about 4 seconds. And now your consciousness is contiguously in the center of the core being, your electromagnetic body, and your entire physical body. When you become fully aware of this, and you learn how to do it, you can use your consciousness with the appropriate Shakti to heal your physical body. It's just that simple. And there are those with that gift. For now, allow your consciousness to expand through your physical body and become aware of your physical body. You can become aware of everything. You can become aware of your nutritional needs. You can become aware of your organs and your glands. If you pop into your brain, you'll probably switch to being mind. And the mind is limited to the mental body and the brain pretty much. So right now the consciousness is the center of the core of being, the electromagnetic body and the physical body. If you pop into your brain, just go back into the center of the core of being and allow yourself to expand back out with the rest of us. As we now expand into the emotional body, all the layers, all the sublayers of the emotional body. In the emotional body is where the personality layers are. We develop our personality in order to protect ourselves, in order to get what we want, in order to please others, etc., etc. It's not who we are. It's the face that we paint on. And it's part of the emotional body, not part of your true nature. When your personality and your true nature are in alignment, that's when your personality has been divinized, made divine. And that's a wonderful process, because we no longer need the protections of the personality. But for now, allow yourself to become aware of the emotional body. Whatever you sense, so in this quickened tour, and do use the pause button, and please do listen to this again. Now allow your consciousness, who you are, your true nature, to expand into your mental body. Already your consciousness has expanded larger than the mind can. And you can become aware of the mental body, all the layers and sublayers and interconnected layers. And now let's expand further into the causal body. And the causal body has all kinds of things in there. And I recently did a healing intensive where we went in and cleared everything out of the causal body that just doesn't need to be there, which also clears things out of anyone who shares DNA with you, which is pretty cool. Well, become aware of the causal body. That's the body that everybody always asks about. Nobody knows what's in there. But these bodies that we just did, the electromagnetic, the physical, the emotional, the mental, and the causal, are what affect this incarnation more than any other bodies. The good and the bad. So let's expand beyond that. Allow your consciousness now to expand into the astral body. Most of the bodies are formless. But when you put attention into your astral body, it takes on the form much like a human body. And in your astral form, many people have more than 2 arms and things like that. Like the pictures and statues of bodhisattvas and Indian deities and things like this. Become aware of yourself. Did you have glyphs put into your aura? They're going to be there in that astral body. You'll see them on the skin of the astral body. Were you given a sword of Michael, Archangel Michael, Michael? Then one of your arms is going to be holding that sword. Were you given gifts from Kuan Yin, the medicine Buddha, or other practices, other cultures? These tools, these gifts, will be there in your astral body as well. Perhaps you see gems in your chakras of the astral body. Not everybody has those. All kinds of fun stuff. So now let's allow our consciousness to expand into the next body, the etheric body. So right now, our consciousness has expanded much larger than mind can, and we are occupying all of the inner bodies, the electromagnetic, the physical, the emotional, the mental, the causal, the astral, and the etheric. Allow yourself to be aware of the etheric body. Maybe when you go through this, you can go through this exercise and try to become aware of one thing from each of the bodies. Good, 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 good. So now let's allow our consciousness to expand one more body out. The first body of the advanced bodies. And fill it as full as you can. And I'm going to help with that as best as I can. Even in recording. Because it's not me. This first advanced body exists in 12 dimensions. This body contains the Merkaba, which can be used for all different purposes. One of which is our gyroscope to help keep us on course, to keep us on track that we choose. All we have to do is program it. That's easy enough. Take a note. How do you feel right now? Some people call this the Buddhic body. Some people call this the Christ body. named after the Christed state of being, not Master Jesus. So when your consciousness fills this Christ body, that is Christ consciousness. Your emotions don't come into play. The mind and the tricks of the mind don't come into play. How do you feel right now? If you start getting afraid or start having barrages of fear, of thoughts or doubts, choose to be in the center of the core being again. And allow yourself to expand back out. Let's just give it a half a minute. Just a simple half a minute. I'd like you to remind some of you to breathe. Being in this state can sometimes slow and pause breathing. And even though you'd like to stay here and have me take you further or do something else, we should probably answer some questions and find out how Loren's doing.
Well, I am so peaceful and centered and balanced right now.
Loren, come in, Loren.
Oh, I'm here. I am feeling very centered and very balanced. And the mind is totally at ease. And so, Scott, I'm just going to allow you to talk here. I was saying that this, and this fortified me for this little technological beat or blip, because my mind was completely at ease as I was sharing, and I feel really balanced and centered and confident. That was just lovely. Lovely.
Oh, I'm hearing you now. I can turn off the phone.
It was lovely. And we'll just hold that as we, again, this is something I want to encourage everyone to come back to. As Scott was saying, that was highly purifying. Scott, this is really what embodiment is. And we could call it embodiment of soul, embodiment of higher self, but it's really the consciousness. We are this consciousness. And in the middle there, I felt a lot of heat on my body as we were really feeling that consciousness in our body. So that was really cool.
Good.
That was really cool. So as you said, for those to come back and listen to this recording again, maybe pause where we were in each of those bodies to really go deeper and feel it. And I would love to hear what people felt in their astral body, what they saw, what they noticed. And they're free to share on anything that was noticed as well. So we have time, Scott, for you to interact with our community. This is a great way for you to use your intuitive ability and work directly with someone. You offer sessions with people, energy sessions in downloadable recordings and group sessions. That's all part of your special offer. We invite our community to check it out.
Yeah, we even put in that class that I had done with you a while back. We did a master class.
We did a couple. Mm-hmm.
Yes, well, we included one of them, a very intense one.
Right, three parts. So this is actually a huge package that you're offering. It's really loaded with a lot of wonderful programs at a very valuable rate. And then people can get all of that with a personal session for you. So before we take our first caller...
Yeah, I'd like to just add one thing.
Yes,
on
please
December
do.
1st, I have a Shakti Healing Intensive coming up. And that one is going to be quite wonderful. And it's about healing your connection to self. And we're going to take a look at the fragmented nature of consciousness and put us back on this path to energetic integration. And it's another form of healing, etc. And it'll be great. It's really great. And the other two, those Shakti Healing Intensives they're just so wonderful. The other two that are already recording is, one was healing the causal plane, and the other one was getting into the causes of suffering. And I can read about them, or people can go online and read about them, but I'd rather work with people.
Yes, it's time to work with people. So if you're on the phone, *2 allows you to raise your hand and we can unmute you. Or you can, at acoustichealth.com, you can enter your question for Scott. And of course, if you're on our YouTube live stream, you can ask that over the chat line there too. Let's go to Denise. Hi, Denise.
Wow. Hi, thank you so very much. I kind of went out most of that.
Yes, I'm sure.
Came back, and I just had my atlas aligned a few hours ago from a very intensive ski injury from April. I was hit
Your
at 70
atlas?
miles an hour. Yeah, in my neck. C1 and C2.
C1.
They took x-rays. It was really interesting, and it was way out, and they adjusted it, so I'm feeling pretty good. And I just wondered what, if anything, you pick up that might be, that's going on that might be helpful or anything. That was wonderful. Thank you so much, Scott.
Well, Denise, the question is, what are you picking up having gone through that? C1 is the only bone that's not attached to the rest of the vertebrae. All the other vertebrae are interlocked, right?
Right.
So now that the electrical impulses in the physical body are going better, connecting better to everything in your body, what were your experiences?
I went out most of it, but I feel very tingly and warm, and everything feels like it's moving wonderfully.
Uh-huh. Well, from where I stand and what I am sensing, I won't say seeing or hearing because it's neither and both. What I'm getting, I guess that's the best word to use, is that there's a bruising in there, but it doesn't seem to be anything permanently overly serious. And if you're careful with it, it should heal relatively quickly, actually. Just don't do any sudden movement kind of a things. Do very, very graceful movements. I don't know what that was.
Sounds like somebody else's phone.
You're still here, though.
Yep, I am. Yeah, I'm going to go back a few times to be rechecked and over the next few weeks. So just, it's been 7 months ago from the injury, so.
Yeah, it should heal. And I don't see anything permanent in there.
Nice. You know
I'm
what
not
it feels
seeing
like?
it affecting other glands or organs.
Nice.
And if you know anyone that can teach you Marma exercise, then that might be a good thing. Also, I'm being told Brima would be good for you.
What is that?
Brima is a very loving, nurturing, healing technique. I don't know why I'm echoing back to myself. It was developed, I think the headquarters is in California. And
I know what happens. This is really interesting. Okay, Scott, hold on.
I got back in.
There you
but
are.
there's,
We're on Skype. So that's why, isn't it interesting? It is very strange electronic stuff going on. We are shifting reality is what's happening.
well, welcome to my world.
It is quantum. It is quantum when we do energy work with this. So go ahead. You're good, Scott.
Okay, good. So Brima is, it's these wonderful, very gentle exercises. There's self-Brima, but that's not what I'm being told for you. You need a practitioner to work on you. And not need, it's a choice. And it would just aid you in your healing. Just look it up. Breema. You want somebody who's been actually trained, not someone who says that they are.
Got it.
And they're wonderful exercises. Yeah, it's very gentle, nurturing, loving.
Prima. Okay.
Sounds wonderful.
Denise, are you still in Colorado Springs?
I just got back to Sun Valley, Idaho. They're not going to let me teach because I have vision damage and my shoulder surgery is not going to be healed enough. But this was, thankfully, I found a great neurologist who referred me to a chiropractor who has an Atlas machine, which is really incredible.
Wonderful.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, you.
Thank you.
Denise, if you want, you can. Denise, if you want, you can go to my website and just get on the healing list because my advanced students and I, every day, we do healing work on everyone who's on that healing list. So you can certainly choose to be on that.
Wonderful. Thank you so very much, Scott and Loren. Thanks. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Awesome. Okay. Next up, we're going to go to Burns Lake, British Columbia, or thereabouts. Caller, hi, you're unmuted. What's your name, please?
Hi, my name's Marianne.
Hi, Marianne. How would you like Scott to help you tonight?
Okay, I'm just wanting some help from myself and my father and mother. I'm dealing with aging parents my father just had a stroke on October 11th. And the medical institution basically said, we can't do nothing for him. And wondering how I can help him and my mother who has Alzheimer's. Hello?
Right. So, Scott, is there a way that Marianne can work with this energy for her parents?
Okay, well, I'm trying to find them. Give me a moment. So what we can do, Marianne, is we can go in the center of the core being, activate that base chakra. Go ahead, do it now. In fact, everyone can choose to do this. And Marianne, what's your parents' names?
John and Jesse.
John and Jesse. And we can just connect with them through you. So we'll just call in the necessary Shakti to help the three of you get through this phase to whatever the next step is. Does that sound good?
That sounds good.
Okay. So let's just center the core being. There you go. And now let's just breathe in this Shakti. Very different than the consciousness energy, isn't it? Breathe in the energy, the Shakti, the divine energy, Shakti. Breathe it in, breathe it in, breathe it in. And we can just radiate it out to them. When you do it, it's going to go through the tubes, the cords that are created between people. When we do it, it's going to go out over the grid system. But you also have to allow it and accept it for yourself. Because there's energy in there that's going to help you as well. You have to go through this also. It's not just them.
Yes.
And it's not just peace. There are other little pieces in there to the puzzle. Good. How do you feel now in this moment?
Just creating some sadness, I think.
Yeah, that's the next phase. Yes, it's bringing this up in you so that you can acknowledge and you can be there, you can go through that. And you can heal that within yourself. Oftentimes, when our parents age and they pass, we confront our own mortality, often for the first time. That's when it really hits home. And it brings up all kinds of things within each person, different. Everybody's journey is different. So you can choose to go through that and heal that, or you can choose to ask for the Shakti that's going to heal that within you. And both ways are appropriate. They're just different ways of healing it, different ways of handling it.
And what's the difference?
Well, one way, they're just different modalities. The energy is going to clear it out of your system, so you might not get the full experience of it. And the other way, you'll get the full experience of it, but maybe in an accelerated way so that the emotions aren't as extreme. It doesn't have to go to extreme emotions. And you can get to that level of understanding and acceptance and keeping that even keel, said by a true coaster person, of the boat, keeping everything on a nice even keel. Be in the center of the core being, and I recommend everyone do this. And just repeat after me. I command that all of my bodies immediately balance, align,
align,
center,
center,
and ground.
and what?
Ground.
And ground.
And that simple little sentence helps a lot of people get through all kinds of situations. Usually emotionally volatile situations. At home, in business, all kinds of things. And you don't have to do it slowly. I did it slowly so that you could experience each word, because those 4 words are completely different things in the energy body. To balance, to align, to center, and to ground.
Yeah, I can feel them.
Good. I wish you the absolute best.
Thank you.
God bless.
God bless you.
Thank you, Marianne. Beautiful. Remember that radical self-care for you as you care for your 2 parents. That's honorable. Thank you. Let's take one more question. Scott, this one comes over our YouTube live stream, and this is from Jackie. And Jackie says she just joined us in the middle of this energy work, so we encourage all to come back and listen to it again. But she asks, I'm wondering if you have any suggestions to heal lymphoma, leukemia, blood disorder. Would it be this experience that we did today, going inward?
Well, going inward would help. Today we learned about consciousness. We got to experience that we are consciousness, that we're not our bodies. So in some aspects, in some form, today's work would indeed help with that quite a bit. Realizing that the physical body is just the physical body in which you're living for the moment. Radical lymphoma and leukemia, depending on your stage, how far along it is, we can do spiritual work. But it may not always affect us instantaneously. So I highly urge you to take a multiple-pronged approach. Explore spiritual, physical, and medical avenues. And, diet and different things to see what works for you. I don't know your case. I don't know how far along you are. And top of that whole list, I'm not a medical doctor. And I can't really offer medical advice as such. But it seems that a multiple-pronged approach would be best. Today we work with consciousness. That's who you are and who you will be. The body is just who you are now. I hope that answered the question.
Thank you for that. Beautiful. And there's so much science coming forth to confirm what you were talking about, Scott. And so we hope that that is optimistic and brings hope to this situation. So thank you for that. Okay. All right. Last one. Let's go up to, I think it's Saskatchewan, but it's area code 306. Hello, caller.
Hello.
You're unmuted. Hi. What's your name?
Sandy, this is wonderful. Boy, wow, I'm feeling very blissful. I went way out somewhere or other, so it was grand. Thank you. This is very good energy.
Well, Sandy.
And, yes, thank you.
Welcome
I'm
back.
another one that had an interesting time from a car accident years ago, and the medical profession just poo-pooed what I said. But I'm thankfully know a lot of natural therapies and helped myself. I'm ready to move on in life, and I'm feeling rather stuck, especially financially. But it's time to get on with doing more than I've been doing, and I don't know what's happening exactly. It's like being in limbo, and really eager to get moving on and doing good in the world again. I have been doing things, but I want to do more again.
Good. I didn't really catch a question in that.
Oh, I'm wondering how to get unstuck or what to do or what's happening with this.
Okay.
It's time for me. I've been very good at helping others, and I've been very good at doing a lot of things for myself, but what are you seeing is for me to be doing? I want to physically move and get on with the wonderful knowledge I have to share it with others and my talents. What are you able to tell me about what's happening and what I do to get to the new place?
It sort of feels, what I'm getting, it feels like part of you wants to heal and move on, and part of you doesn't. Sort of that sitting on the fence kind of thing.
Yes.
And that's sort of what's holding you back.
Okay.
And once you fully make that decision to go, regardless of what happens, full-fledged into the unknown, you're going to sit on that fence.
Yes, I understand.
And there are lots of energy sessions. I put so much into this package that there's lots of them. Read through that and see if any of them speak to you, because there's a lot of them in there that will help with what you're going through. More than one.
So in other words, I need to be more decisive, clear decisions.
Well, is it that? It's not clear decisions. It's making that one choice. That one choice that no matter what happens, the past is the past. And you're ready to go into that mystery of the future regardless, without clinging on to anything, without having the attachments, so that when you remember things and you bring up memories, that you don't have to relive how you felt while the event itself was taking place. Those are the attachments that all the ancient rishis told us to dissociate.
I did that sort of thing very well before the car accident, but since the car accident, I guess there's a nervousness.
Yes, there's fear in there. It's a matter of getting over that fear and being able to go forward through that fear.
Yeah.
Or doing some energy work to quench the fear or eradicate the fear.
Yes.
God gave us these tools. We can use them.
Yes. Yes. Yes, that is correct. I'm ready to cry.
That's the truth that you know within.
Yes.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Without having the abilities that I had before, that's what the fear is, because I'm not able to do things as I was able to, and
But you're going to be able. Excuse me for cutting you off.
Sure.
Don't live there. You're going to be able to do things that you couldn't do in the past.
That's true. That's true.
Focus on that.
Okay. I feel better. Something just lifted.
Good.
Yes.
Yes, wallowing is never a good place to be.
No. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
I'm going to put myself on your healing list too, so that's good to know that you have that. Thank you.
Sure. You're most welcome. God bless.
Yes, God bless you too. Thank you, and you, Loren, too. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All
Wow.
right. Yeah. Wow is right. Beautiful experience tonight and healing on many, many levels, Scott. Again, it is embodiment of consciousness. It is the realization of this consciousness. And I just want to thank you for allowing us the space to experience this and leading us into this beautiful expression tonight. Thank you, Scott.
Oh, you're welcome. And just remember, you don't have to embody consciousness. You already are.
You are.
There's nothing to do. We're not human doings. All you have to do is recognize and just be that. I am that. Be your consciousness.
Be your consciousness.
Why am I seeing Jiminy Cricket?
This will help us with every aspect of our life. So for those who still have questions that we were not able to get to, come back to this experience today, because that will empower you into a higher experience, a higher perspective of truly who you are, of your power that you have. We sit and we feel and we connect, and that overcomes and it transcends all of the lower dimensional seemingly problems in our world. Wouldn't you say, Scott? On all levels, on health, on abundance, on connection, relationships.
Absolutely. Absolutely and completely. So if we are winding down and getting ready to go, which I feel we are,
Yes.
I'd like everybody to just close their eyes, activate that base chakra. It helps allow the energy to flow through. Remember, it's not your energy and my energy. It's not good energy or bad energy. It's just energy. And when you talk about somebody's energy, you're really talking about their energy signature. Another show, another day. But just accept this energy that I radiate out through me from Source as darshan, as a blessing, as a gift to all who listen to this show. Give me one moment. Just allow this energy in. You can breathe it in through your nose. Allow it to radiate through your whole being. Accept it in. It's going to take you from point A, which is where you are right now in this moment, to point B, the next step on your path. Your path is the path that you've chosen. Oh. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Loren, for allowing me to share this work with people. That's what I really appreciate being able to do that. And thank you so much for having me on. Maybe next time we'll do it on one of your live shows where you see it live on the YouTube.
Wednesday live stream. Yes, although most of the work that we do with you is with our eyes closed, it would still be a beautiful time to share with you on a Wednesday live stream. So we'll have you back for that, Scott. I just want to share, kudos are coming in. Missy, I hope that you can return to the recording and everyone else to really realize that when you connect this way with yourself, that is powerful, and you will transcend doubt. So I want to share with you as well, Scott, that Paula from Montana, she says it was a beautiful process as always. She's one of your students.
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you all. And Scott, it's our pleasure. Thank you so much for being here with this beautiful, calm, energetic field that we created today, and it's created within us, and we just thank you for that. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you again so much for having me. God bless.
Blessings. All right, and so now it is time to dance our way to the cosmic heart. We send our intentions through our heart space of that what we want to create, and we empower it with music. Enjoy. Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts, as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. Access all quantum conversations, special offers from our guests, and online healing retreats by visiting acoustichealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. We leave you now with music from the universe. Music literally created by the universe, as musical notes were assigned to mathematical equations. The result is this beautiful music, available at acoustichealth.com. Namaste.